What's happening, faithful? I am Lawrence. Welcome to Platform 246. Thank y'all so much for stepping up today. Happy, what's today, Tuesday? Taco Tuesday! As a Brian used to say, why the fuck is my mic blinking red? You see, I really dislike when I get onto the stream and I automatically say the F word right off the top. How's everybody doing today? Again, welcome to Platform 246. Thank you for stepping up. If you enjoyed, please, before we get into it, hit that like button. Share the video around on your Twitters, your Facebooks. I would say Instagram, but you can't. I think you can even share these videos on Snapchat. But how's everybody doing today? Welcome. Romello, what's happening, brother? We got Romello in the building. Thank you for stepping up today. How are you doing, bro? We're going to get into a few things today. As you can see, folks, we got scrolling across the bottom on the ticker, just like on ESPN. It's 49ers Tuesday. We are live, and we're on the way to 600 subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button. Again, if you enjoy, we sincerely appreciate it. If you don't, tell me why. If there's anything, we're always looking for, for constructive criticism or even just, completely negative criticism, whichever you prefer, if that's the kind of person that you want to be. But starting first with the opening song, right? It's not really a favorite in my household, even by me. I really don't even like it myself. I'm trying to find the opening song. So what I'm asking is for you, the faithful. We all have YouTube, clearly, because we're talking, right? So what I want to know is if you find a low, I mean, it's not low. It doesn't matter what kind of fire it is. But we want a song. We want an open song. So I'm putting that out there to the faithful. Or even if you're not a faithful, even if you're just one of our folks. What's happening, Brian? I'm confused as well, Romello. We're going to get into all the confusion right now. What's happening, Brian? How you doing, brother? Thank you for stepping in. Brian, I see Brian in everybody's thing. Brian, when you get your channel, by the way, I want in, brother. I want to be a guest. I would like to be a guest. And I'll have you on here. I can pop you on anytime you want to, any day. And that goes for everybody. We're pretty much interactive at all times. If you're looking to get on, if you want to get your face on or just your voice on, you want to let your thoughts be heard, please tell us. We would do it, either me or my EP. By the way, EP, are you ready to come in? I know you're in the studio, but you may be watching live also. Are you ready? Or you could probably bring yourself on. I'm not sure. But give me a clue, a sign when you're ready to come on. Or can you hear me, EP? Out there. But folks, what I was just saying, we're looking to get a new song for the open. My apologies. And then, yeah, you do bounce around. I know, Brian, that's good. I bounce around a lot too when I'm not recording. I go to everybody's. So much respect to you. Pardon me, folks. So you don't want to ever cough on the stream. That's one of those things like on radio when they say you're not supposed to have, you're supposed to have no dead air, which is never a problem for me. But Brian Cope says he bounces around a lot. I get that. Let me see. You ready to go? You ready? That's Trey in the building. What's happening, son?
What's happening, nerd? What's happening?
Grand Iser in the building. What's happening, dog? Bang, bang. Niner gang of bang. How you doing, son?
I'm all right. How you doing?
How are you today?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm all right as well, son. Thank you very much. Why is your voice so deep? That's my child. But again, welcome to everybody. We got you. We might have a little backup or issue with our stuff, son, but we're going to be good. Watching Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Grandizer, what is that? Or maybe it's my internet. My internet might be a little shoddy right now. If it is, we apologize for any internet issues that we may be having. Brian Cope says, Rombo got me started. Rombo, I was watching Rombo for a while, too. I stopped watching Rombo when I started feeling like he was, as I started doing my own channel. And then as I started feeling like he was just a little too biased in certain areas. So I kind of stopped doing that. Stopped messing with Rombo. Plus, I got tired of seeing his chest muscles under his arms and shit like that. I got tired of seeing all of that, so I had to stop. He wears tank tops, basically 12 months a year. So no, my internet is killing me right now. It's not showing the thing, son. On your end,
And he's out. But I have no idea what today's stream is really about. There wasn't really a plan for this stream. I just kind of hopped on, so I'm not quite sure how I am supposed to carry it on. But yeah, I mean, guess we just gonna have to try. I guess we're just gonna have to try. So, how's everybody doing? That's all I can really say for right now. I guess we can just hop right in. Just talking about Jimmy G. Jimmy G went down. We all saw that. We all saw Jimmy G go down. And Brock Purdy is our guy. We did just sign someone today. I don't remember his name, but we did just sign another quarterback today. And
Josh Johnson, Daddy.
Josh Johnson.
My apologies.
Brock Purdy is our guy. Are you on a Brock Purdy train? Is Brock Purdy our guy?
You asked me, am I on the Brock? Yes, he is our guy because he's here. Just like James had to be our guy, just like Trey had to be our guy. The day that they come and they are, the person in the huddle, I'm on that person's train, son. Even if I don't want to be. Thank you for catching me. My apologies there, folks. Internet nighttime, you never know. But Buck Rogers, I know the name, but I don't know the show. Day is good. How was your day, son? Work was good. How was your day at school today? Good, son? You put up the Xmas tree? All right, for sure. I'm gonna wait. I'm not putting up my Christmas tree, literally. I'm gonna give y'all full disclosure. Put all our business out in the street, Trey. December 26th is probably when my Christmas tree is going up. But it's gonna go up. But yes, if Purdy wins the Super Bowl, we're all down for him. Grandizer, how did you feel about the game overall, though? Too. Now, Grandizer, by the way, folks, if you can't tell by the teal, is a Dolphins fan. What's the latest news on the 49ers? We're about to get right into it. Future of Jimmy, James Garoppolo G, absolutely. They take the last snap as a Grandizer is already in our portfolio or whatever the fuck you want to call it. That is definitely on the table, and that's coming up. I don't understand how they have conflict. I don't understand that either, Bryant. I believe one is probably from his camp, and one could be from the team, and another could be from doctors. I'm not sure. It's talking about he was like, that man doesn't want to be done here. That's why he left the stadium. No, don't get me started. I'm not even gonna do it. Son. Okay, if you are ugly, you won't like the Purdy boy. I agree. Right on. You do you? Yes. Is the foot broken? How many bones does he need surgery? They say he does not need surgery, Brian. I read that and heard that today. So I read that in an article and actually heard from multiple people on YouTube that he does not need surgery. We don't know, though. He can get a surgery tonight and none of us will fucking know. Because that's how when you're that rich and that important, you can do those types of things. So, Sonny, you had a good day, though? You ready to get into this Niner talk?
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we can start. Where do we start? We got so many things that we can talk about. First of all, I think we should start with something that's important and it deserves its time. Purdy time. Brian says they said they had an MRI on Sunday, correct? And then apparently today it's coming out saying that he doesn't need surgery. He didn't break a bone or something like that. I'm not sure. Or he didn't destroy a ligament or he didn't break. I'm not sure which one at the moment, if I remember from earlier. But it's saying all signs point that he does not need surgery. Now they say 6 to 8 weeks. So in that 6 to 8 weeks, and thank you for that, Bryant. Absolutely. That's what, son. We got 5 games left in the season, right?
5 games left, yes.
We wouldn't be getting. Well, obviously, we're not getting skipped. Well, you never know. We're 8-4. They have one loss. Yeah. The Eagles.
The Eagles.
We went.
Eagles will have to pretty much lose all the rest of
lose
the
3 games or 4 games, right, or just about, which is not going to happen. Yeah, and even if they lost one, then that probably further prevents them from sitting people in the last game or 2 or something like that. If they lose one before, so we won't get a skip in the first round, Faithful. But so in week 6, when he's eligible to come back, that would basically be our first playoff game. As a 3rd seed, we will be playing the 6th. Correct? I believe, yeah. 2 will play the 7th. We will be playing the 6th. Anybody know who's in 6th place right now? It's not it's not Tampa because they're 4th. 6th place will probably be Seattle, maybe,
Seattle
or
right now. I believe
huh,
it is Seattle.
okay, boom. Thank you. Yeah, so like we would end up
Or
playing like Seattle.
no, it's not
Or
Seattle.
Minnesota.
All of the NFC East is in, so it would be the Giants.
So it would be Purdy against the Giants, or the first possible game, allegedly, that James could come back from injury. But technically not, because it takes 6 weeks. So if it takes 6 weeks, would it be Purdy time in that game? Or would that, even if he don't need no extra time, they just say, boom, it's your time's up. As soon as that first game is coming up, Kyle wants him to play. Would it still be Purdy time then? Or would
I think no matter what Brock Purdy is playing, he will start in a playoff game. I mean, even with the 6 to 8 weeks, I think no matter what happens, Brock Purdy will start in a playoff game this season.
Folks, Faithful, real fast. Think about that before we continue on to Brock. Your coach. Stop disrespecting your coach. We'll get into him. Stop. Let's just I think we need to start. He's an asshole. He's a liar. And he's condescending. But he's a genius. As far as I don't know if he's a great coach just because of his personality. I mean, he can't win without that one guy. So he's maybe not a great coach, but he's a damn good head coach. And he's a great play caller and stuff like that and all that other shit. And they all love him. No matter what his faults are.
At times. Because he can definitely at times, if he wants to, he can be the complete opposite. He can be a horrible play caller for no reason. Yeah. He can just
I don't know why, son. I don't know how that is.
All this talent. I don't know why. But all right. Majority of the time, he is an outstanding play caller. But Brock Purdy is going to start a playoff game. Mr. Irrelevant in the NFL not only is just starting a game, a lot of Mr. Irrelevants don't start. It's crazy because the last pick of the draft won't even make a team, but they'll sign a whole bunch of free agents afterward, and maybe 1 or 2 will make the team. Damn sure on our team. But we got the Mr. Irrelevant. It's a quarterback, and that son of a bitch is going to start. Irrelevant to ever throw a full pass in the NFL.
That's on our team. That's for Kyle, and he won that game. First Mr. Irrelevant to ever throw a pass. Why? Why does it happen to us? Trey, I'm asking you, like, not just rhetorical, like, for real, why?
Well, I mean, with our luck, this team's luck, they don't even know what can happen. It's crazy.
Perfect answer. Like walking out of the back of the end zone, moonwalker style. Nobody has accurate footage on Purdy. The last time he played, it was not a full game, and it was preseason. Yes, correct. It was not a good gauge to see what Purdy could really do. That's what you usually get. But by game 4, game 3 or game 4, you think Todd Bowles is not staying up all night to try to over this next week to try to get as much on that man as he can? I'm sure he is. By game 3, they'll have enough footage on him. Brian, let me know in the comments, Brian, why? Trey, you agree with that?
I don't, but I think that we can get into that. It's coming up on this shortly.
Excuse me. We'll get into that. Lions. What about the Lions? The Lions got the dub, didn't they? Oh, you're talking about the players? Oh, yeah. Purdy would have to play 1 or 2 playoff games. I'm thinking he's going to have to, right. James would be back until his specialty, the NFC Championship game.
I think Purdy would play them all. I mean, I don't even think that. I think if we even made it to the Super Bowl, Brock Purdy will be starting in the Super Bowl.
Even if they say, okay, we're going to get into that. Let's hold on. So let's talk more about.
They said the same thing for Trey Lance. We see
can't.
with our eyes that Trey Lance is ready to go, and he will be ready to go by playoff time. But Kyle Shanahan is sitting him out anyway. Brock Purdy is our guy, and he will be our guy for the rest of the season.
Hey, wait,
Yeah.
no, that's not. I don't want to stick with that exactly because we're going to talk about it all too. It's going to all tie together. That's fine. Brock Purdy does right now, though, folks. Faithful look like he is our guy, and I've seen today on the internet, excuse me, on Twitter and Facebook, a lot of people saying, especially once the new news came out, they just shit like in 48 hours. I don't know who had less opportunity here, Trey or Brock. The world shit on him. The 49ers world, at least on the internet, from what I saw today. Oh, shit. 6 to 8 weeks. He's coming back. Brock's like, come on. That man is also part of the reason why we won that game. Now, our defense was stupid, but he made plays that the other one doesn't. Giants are Commanders. Yeah, so like you were saying, Trey, I think we play the Giants. So can Purdy? So first of all, Trey, can Purdy get us to the playoffs? Can he go? We have 5 games left. Can he go?
Well, I
no,
think
we already won it. We won 10 and 7
already. I just think we're already in it.
Okay.
Like we were talking about a couple of days ago. A team can win the Super Bowl. It's been done with a bad quarterback, but an outstanding defense. Brock Purdy is not a bad quarterback, at least not from what I've seen in the Miami game. And our defense is just disgusting. So with that and Kyle Shanahan, we saw how much he opened up the play action. There was a lot of blitz in that game. He opened up the play action.
BA was back.
So when he does that against a team that doesn't blitz heavy, like the Dolphins are an extremely heavy blitzing team. Tampa Bay, I don't think they are. So if he does play action against a team that isn't blitzing every other play, and there's not constant pressure in Brock Purdy's face because there's 6-7 rushers, we'll just have to see what happens. But I think we're making the playoffs either way. Even if Brock Purdy throws no more touchdowns for the rest of the season, I think we'll still make the playoffs.
Okay. Because of our run game and defense.
Yeah.
Yo, Ray, can you give us one, Ray? You got 5 games. You know what? Fuck it. Save it for the POs. Save it for the POs. Okay? Save it for the POs.
We're waiting for him to get one.
The run game of the run, he's gonna get one in the POs. The run game of the defense, I think, can score enough points. And your kicker
run up the middle with CMC. CMC is not an up the middle guy. He's not. That's Jordan Mason.
Corners only.
Bounce it outside or catch it.
Corners only like a prostitute, right? To the outside, to the corners, not up the middle, Kyle. Not with CMC. That's why you have Ty Davis Price. If you just want to get 3 yards up the middle, which I know you have plays literally that you have created that you only want to get 3 yards up the middle on. Why? I don't know, but I really don't question your play calling, Kyle. I really don't. I mean, I do, but I just don't question overall. But you literally, I know you that is your goal with the play is 3 yards. It's to set up some other shit, and I know that's part of it. But if you're gonna do it, you have 2 other people who can do it besides him, and not named Sean. Excuse me. Grandizer says, "Lauren, did you see my comments on your fins at Fortnite's play-by-play? We had a lot on there, bro. But I haven't checked the comments on it after it loaded back up, but I will. Luckily, we get good enough, decent enough amount of comments on videos and stuff like that. And I do check every single comment that I see. Hope you all know that, and try to respond to like everybody's comment. I don't know how long I'll be able to do that, but I literally do try to do that right now. Everyone. So I will check it out. And Granddad says, when Purdy played before this week, I recall they wanted to chase Purdy out of town. Yeah, we did. Some of us did. Reference says, what's cracking platform? Perform. Say that again twice and fast. Thank you so much for jumping in, Rep. And please hit that like button, folks. If you're new, as we were saying earlier, we are on the push to 600 subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button. We sincerely appreciate it. We're talking about Brock Purdy right now. Son, what did he struggle with most to you in the game?
If I just had to say anything,
just take your time, whatever. Yeah. What's his
I
biggest?
don't know.
What's his biggest?
I can't really say he struggled with much. He was accurate. He knew when to get out of. He had great pocket presence. He threw the ball on blitzes quick. He got the ball out quick against the blitz. He did run around in the pocket a lot, but the blitz was heavy. And if he didn't do all that running, there'd have been a lot more sacks in that game than there was. Him doing all that running prevented a whole lot more sacks. So I can't really say he did anything bad. He was accurate. I mean, I don't know anything bad he really did in that game.
Well, you know your dad, and how I look at things, uh, and I'm having a hard time finding something myself right now. I'm having a harder time keeping my alligators on the floor as I am trying to find out something to say that Brock Purdy did not do well. Did he manage the clock well? Okay, a little bit of clock management. I'll say a little bit of clock management. He went down to he took the now. You know, you always want to take as much time as you can, but he burned the timeout in that game. I don't know if all the faithful caught that. He was the cause of wasting up one of our timeouts. He was apologizing to everybody. He said, and then of course, just a little bit of because I got to give him something. He's just fucking he undrafted. Okay, so and then he said specifically to George Kittle and because he said that, and then to Brandon Ayuk. He went up to Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk said that on a podcast with TJ Houshmandzadeh that my kids and I got to see yesterday. I sent it to them. I think they saw it. But TJ Houshmandzadeh and Orlando Scandrick have a podcast, and Brandon Ayuk, who's a burgeoning butterfly and flower now, apparently. You know, before he was as quiet as a mouse, but he was talking pretty big shit actually on that podcast. And he said that he's balling with Brock. It was a word that he said. Because they asked him about Baker Mayfield. He was like, nah. Although we all knew that the sheep were going to get them. But he said that he's balling with Brock. He believes in Brock. And then Brock came up to him just before he came to the interview and told him, hey, I'm sorry. I missed you. I'm going to do better. I'm going to get better. He's like, you don't got to apologize to me. We are brothers. You're a dog. And just keep doing what you're doing. Keep slinging it, as he kept saying. So I think Brock's son, I think he's going to do it enough for us. I think he will get a chance to start a playoff game this year. Like you said that he's going all the way to the Super Bowl if we go, which I do think we are. But you know, if he doesn't, right, as we all might have seen today, and I hope you saw, son, 6 to 8 weeks. So did we or did we not see Jimmy Garoppolo's last game as a 49er? His last snap as a 49er, because first of all, we all have Brock right now. We got Josh Johnson, who's been with us now on his fourth trip. He's on his fourth time with us since 2008. But we also have Brock Purdy at the helm. Somebody on some kind of IR. I don't know where. Actually, I don't know what it is, except for seeing him in the locker room looking awfully sad when Kyle Shanahan was basically saying, "Pray for James," in front of everybody, and he was literally standing. It's a perfect shot. He's standing over Kyle's shoulder in the view. He's standing right behind Kyle's shoulder. And Kyle looks like he's about to fucking cry. Pray for James. And I don't know that the team did that hoop of the high in the locker room for him that day. Also on a big win, emotional win. They chanted Purdy, 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 and it was like 2 seconds, and then it was over. But I bet you it was a party in our locker room that day in Seattle, for Seattle. But anyway, we have James still, as we're talking about now. Do you think we see him again this year? Yeah, all of a sudden, the reports come out today, 6 to 8 weeks only.
I think if we see James, the faithful need to just absolutely riot against Kyle Shanahan, because if we're able to see James, why not Trey? I mean, Trey is the starter of this team. And like Jameis Winston said, you don't lose your job because of injury. So when the starter gets healthy, the starter comes back and the starter plays no matter what, unless they just lost their job to the backup. But it's been played 2 games. He's the starter of this team, and when he gets ready, because we know he will already, he should be coming back. But Kyle Shanahan is saying no. Jimmy gets ready, and he's able to come back, and he comes back with the next fair to Trey, who was also ready, but wasn't allowed to come back. It's not fair to him.
So let me ask you something. Is it what I'm thinking in my head? By week 18, 19, could we have all three of them healthy?
I think maybe not
19
Jimmy.
would be like the second. Okay, maybe not. Okay.
Okay.
Trey and Brock.
19. I think by week 20, if we're playing week 20, all of them will be healthy. It's just a matter of is Kyle Shanahan.
Who starts that game?
It'll probably be Brock Purdy because of Kyle Shanahan's ego. It just won't. It won't let him. Even though Trey will be ready, he just won't suit up. Jimmy probably will be ready. He just also won't suit up. So we'll just have 4 quarterbacks on the sideline. 2 of them suited up, 2 of them not, and they're all just walking there watching the game, even though they're all healthy and could play in that game, which doesn't make sense to me at all.
Reppin, that's our thoughts. Basically, right there. My son just said, I don't expect to see him come back for the playoffs either. I expect him to be on this team, possibly be healthy. See, the thing is, with both of the players, Kyle's a liar. Like, we have a video on this channel about that right now, and down below. But Kyle's literally a liar. He's a head coach though, so it's not only him. Everybody does it. We all do it, right? But Kyle's a liar, and I believe that he's not telling the truth. One, because he wants to not have to answer the questions about Trey Lance for the next 5 weeks. So he's been asked it like maybe 3 or 4 times. I swear I've heard everyone that he's been asked. He's been asked it about 3 or 4 times. Is Trey going to be ready? No, but like, you can barely get the question out of your mouth all the way. And as the weeks gone on, he's progressively got less ornery when he answered. The first time I heard him answer that, he nearly bit that person's head off. But now he's just really quickly saying, no, I haven't heard that. So he won't be ready is all the thing that I've heard. But Jimmy, we also don't know. Now they said he was done for the season. He needed surgery 2 days ago or a day ago. Now today they say he only needs 6 weeks and he can be back at 1 week into the playoffs.
That's the same thing with Trey.
Exactly. So who we don't Reppin is asking what's our thoughts on him coming back? What's our thoughts on we don't know. Because we don't know how long he's really supposed to be out for. If any of you can get that answer, or you know something else from the internet or Twitter that you've seen, let us know. But it's really hard to say because we don't know if he's truly. Yesterday they said that he couldn't play again until the springtime. Now they're saying he'll be ready, New Year's Day and shit. I don't know. But so if he is, but regardless of that, the question is, will he ever play for us again?
Probably not.
Folks in the comments, what do you think? Reppin, what are your thoughts? If you're still watching, what do you think? Will James ever play for us again? Will he ever take another snap? If you had to give your bet, not what you want either, what do you think? So that even goes into, do you see Kyle Shanahan possibly, Faithful, re-signing him for a 1-year deal? It's not going to be a long-term deal. He's screwed on a long-term deal, maybe with any team, because again, he got injured in the season. So Reppin says Jimmy G will be coming back in 6 to 8 weeks. Do you mean he'll be coming back to play? Or he's going to be coming back and he'll just be on the sideline? And why should he play?
Well, why should he play over Trey? But either way, with this 6 to 8 weeks, Jimmy G's probably going to take the maximum time. He's probably not going to be back in 6 weeks. He'll probably be back in 7 or 8, which means even if it is 6 weeks, Brock Purdy will have played a playoff game in that time. So 6 to 8 weeks, even if Jimmy does come back in the 6 weeks, Brock Purdy will have either a playoff win or a loss under his belt. And if Brock Purdy wins the playoff game, why take him out?
There's no reason to take him out
for Jimmy, who we know loses them.
Touche. So I guess none of us can really say if he's played his last game, because I believe there's honestly after Sunday, it automatically becomes, just because we're even able to ask this question now, there's obviously way too many variables. His age, his performance, his contract status, the injury. So when he's eligible to come back, really and truly, if it is 6 to 8 weeks, Reppin, do you think? And to this question to Reppin, or to any faithful in the comments, that's the last thing on James for this, at least for right now. Do you think you see James on the field in the 2022 season for the Niners, for us? That, so assuming we get to the Super Bowl, no, we're not going to talk about winning it or losing it. We are in the Super Bowl. Will we have seen James Garoppolo, Jimmy G, take another snap? David Glock Purdy is in the building. Yes, David McNew. Please hit that like button, sir. How you doing, brother? Welcome to the platform. Thank you for stepping up. Glock Purdy just has to manage the game and make the plays that are there. Amen. Do you agree with that? That's all he has to do, really? I'm sure you do, son.
I just hope that's not all caution and lets him do. And he lets him do more. And he actually lets Brock Purdy show off his talent as a quarterback.
Well, before we move on, we know what. So speaking of James, if we don't or do see, whether we see him or not again, we know one thing that he's unable to do is the play action. And you're speaking of, don't just manage the game. Well, apparently that's what he lets Jimmy do, is just manage the game. Is that really what he did yesterday? Brock Purdy threw an interception, faithful. Where and when and in what type of play? Down the sideline.
On 4th and 4.
On fourth down.
It was good. So an arm punt. And they didn't get anything off of it either. So it's not
like it was a quarterback punt. It was a quarterback punt. Yes, son. It was an arm punt. David McNew says, no, James. He stinks in the playoffs. Church, James. Excuse me, Church David on that for James. He's not the same player in the playoffs, in my opinion. And again, as Reppin says, I don't see Jimmy G coming back next season. I don't think. Do you see him coming back in any way? On the last thing on James, Trey, do you see him coming back next year for us?
Especially if Brock Purdy has an outstanding showing for the rest of this season. Yeah, Jimmy is done.
Why pay him any type of money when you got Mr. Relevant on the second year of his contract? Yeah, I don't. So, the other quarterback on the team, can Trey Lance possibly return this season? What the time frame was in the beginning of the year when he was first hurt. Yeah, I remember I was on week 2, folks. He walking around pretty good. He was
8 weeks.
8 weeks. They were saying week 14 max. Week 14. What's that? Seattle? Arizona?
Seattle.
Initially, that he was going to be ready by Seattle week.
Or is this week 14 coming up?
12, 13. We're at 8 and 4. This is week 14 coming up. This is week 14.
Yeah. And we've seen Trey can play. He really can.
He's moving around just for
probably
really fine.
He's running. He's working out.
He just broke his ankle, son. I mean, when you think about it, right? He had surgery.
He had surgery, and now he's good now. He was in the booth. He was in the cast. Now he's out of it. Now he's running. Now he's working out. I mean, and we have 5 games left. So that's
why can't he even?
You can't hide it from us.
You, amen. You cannot hide it. You can't hide it from us, Kyle. The truth always comes to light, bro. Why can't he, Trey? Why can't he just even come in and they can't run the ball? You can't make him run the ball. I don't know. Come in on a pitch, quarterback throw, or 2 quarterbacks in the game. But
somebody asked him. I remember somebody asked him in the press conferences. Now that this happened, can Trey possibly come back even as a backup? He said, "No, he won't be ready." He's already ready.
I think. All right, I got somebody. Yeah, he's already ready. You fucking liar. So, what do you think, faithful?
Problem is why he does that?
Well, he's a coach.
No other coach would probably do that. I don't believe any other coach.
Not the same way. Not the same way. he's very. I still haven't found the word that I want to use
He's
for
not
Kyle.
showing any optimism for his return either. It's like he doesn't want him to come back.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't want him to come back. It's like Kyle Shanahan doesn't want Trey Lance to come back. Or do you think that he's been going through this stuff for 2 years now? Um, do you think any of us that he just doesn't want to have to answer trade questions or even or just be able to just bring it on the league around playoff time? You think any of us that, or you think he's just a liar, piece of shit?
I hope he's just lying and just doesn't want to have to deal with the questions, so he shuts it all down. But Trey really is fine, and he could come back. Maybe later, Kyle just switches up and says, "Yeah, he's been progressing better than we thought, and he could make a return, maybe." But for now, it's just, I mean, this is your starting quarterback, and it's like you don't even want him to play.
You just said that maybe Kyle says he's been progressing and what again?
Progressing better than we thought, something like that.
Progressive. Okay, thank you for that. Shout out to my guy Lotto Lawrence on Facebook. I don't want to send any hate or traffic his way. He gets enough of it already because he's a Trey Lance enthusiast. But he said the same thing. First of all, he was saying week 14, and I mean when I say a big backer of Trey son, he's an enormous. He may as well be Trey's cousin. Okay, so and he can't stand James. So he says a lot of stuff on there. He actually trolls on there a lot about Trey. Trey needs it because that's what happens to us in the reverse. But he actually said the same thing, that he was going to be ready by week 14. And that he said in 3 weeks, Kyle's going to say, he's progressed. Right? He said 3 weeks, so like week 17, Kyle's going to come out and say, oh, he's progressed better than we thought. He's going to be ready for the playoffs. So maybe onto something there. That's going around. Crazy Juice, we all hope that. And I hope that I will get a chance to see you. I saw you in the comments earlier. I think it was at TED Talks. I don't know if he was at TED. I can't remember who it was. I saw many of us content creators today. What's happening, sir? Thank you so much for stepping up. We are talking about Trey Lance, whether or not we hope or is it even possible for him to return. What have any of you seen out there as far as how long? I know all of us know Jimmy's time, right? 6 to 8 weeks. The whole media blasted that all over the world today, the second that came out. Who was responsible for that? I don't know. But it sure got out fast. But there's never been a timeline on. There's been actually multiple timelines on Trey. So, do you think we get a chance to just see a little bit of him? You say Kyle said that he can't even come back as a backup.
That's what Kyle told somebody. Somebody asked, now that Jimmy went down, could Trey come back as a backup? And he answered real fast, no, he won't be ready. So, I hope he's. Now what? Are you going to even start him next year?
Well, a lot of us faithful think he's not. I know that. Crazy says because if Kyle, for some dumb reason, puts Trey in the doghouse next year. Bruh, look.
Yeah, see.
Don't put that in the air, Crazy, please. Like, you know what? Some of us are very frustrated with this shit. Some of us are very tired. We don't know why. It looks like hate. I don't know what type of hate. We want to stop short of saying racial.
On Sunday we were talking, or I don't know, it was one of those days, and you guys were saying coaching and management, the reason why they make dumb decisions and invest, or for Zach Wilson, I believe, instead of just starting Mike White, they have to make those draft picks worth it. They have to make the pick worth it. But it seems like Kyle Shanahan doesn't care. He doesn't care if Trey plays, he's the boss. Doesn't play, is good, isn't good. He just doesn't care. I don't even know what his purpose is anymore. Like, I don't know what his goal is. Is he trying to win a Super Bowl? Or is he just going out weekend, every week, going on Sundays, just to show people that, I mean, he can do it?
Son, you just hit me. I don't know what his goal is. I don't know. I know that he doesn't have enough emotion publicly for me. I don't know. So I can't, he's sometimes hard to read, but that's because I believe he's always trying not to be read by everybody. I believe he's a liar is what I believe. But if he for some reason puts Trey in the dog, I can't see why. You can't tell me Trey doesn't make the same passes that Brock Purdy was just making in practice. No one can tell me that. or in game, in a regular game. When
Trey gives
Kyle's
you
not
more
calling
options. He gives you more versatility.
so much more. He opens up the defense. The defense can't play in the box. Do you know what our run game's going to be like without him running the ball? If he just throws the ball down the field 5 times, even if he overthrows it on purpose 5 times a game, you know what that's going to do to the
did we
box?
see what he did? Are we seeing what Justin Fields is doing? Read options for 60-yard touchdowns. Trey did that in college.
That's the play, Kyle.
He did
Not
that same
the
thing
fucking
in
quarterback.
college. Not quarterback power, run a read option. Let him go. Let him make the choice. Let him read the defense.
He doesn't seem like he trusts anybody. Reppin says, I would like to see Trey come back, but I don't want to see him get hurt. Reppin, none of us do. That's what we're talking about. Quarterback power right now. No more quarterback power. Did you see Friday after next? I'm sure you did. You think you're young and black. No more locked doors. Okay. No more quarterback power. No more quarterback power, Kyle.
Did we just need a new coach?
Maybe, son. I swear to God, son. When I came home today, I sat here before the stream, folks. I said to myself, like, really for the first time, like for real, because I actually made a video again, not to self-promote, a year ago, and I got destroyed for it. The first time he got Trey hurt, and yes, I still blame him for this one too. Fuck it. The first time he got Trey hurt, I made a video and said, this motherfucker got this kid hurt against Arizona. And he did it again. And he did to Robert Griffin. And I said today, do we need a new coach? A couple of weeks ago, he said something drastic has to happen for Trey to be back. Something drastic. Boom. Something drastic happened, Kyle. What's up to everybody? Thank everybody for chilling with us today.
Those reports weren't lying. They said he'll be ready in 8 to 12 weeks. Yeah,
12 weeks.
They said he'll be ready. They said he'll be ready by now. He will. Kyle, those reports weren't lying. He'll be ready, and he will be ready before the playoffs.
So,
like those reports,
everybody was wrong.
They knew what they were talking about, and everybody knows.
No, they don't.
I don't know what he's trying to lie about it, but it's just not going to work because we can see it with our own eyes.
Yeah, because he's standing there perfectly behind you.
Our eyes telling us something else.
What's that? What?
He's telling us one thing, but our eyes are telling us something else. He's trying to tell us something that, like, we aren't seeing it happen. Like, we aren't seeing Trey work out and run. Like, we see it. We see that you're a liar.
Kyle, don't you know that this is the internet? Bruh, do you know what the era is this? Do you know you can't get away with nothing but some crimes, apparently? Other shit you can't. Kyle, we all see his Instagram.
There's a camera on
him at all times. 24 hours a day, basically.
Always watching him. On the sideline. Somebody's always watching him.
Yeah, and he was all over the camera yesterday. Now. As soon as he went to the bench, into the locker room, he was on camera. It was like the most amazing thing. It was like reverse, basically.
If he wasn't there at all last week or at all on that first drive, they don't come out and just show Trey Lance.
They don't.
The moment Jimmy went down into the locker room, Trey Lance was immediately on the screen. I don't know why.
Because the media
wasn't even on the screen. It was Trey Lance. It was
Trey first.
Wasn't even
my fault, yo. It really was Trey first. I'm pretty sure the first thing I saw was Trey. He had on a red sweater, no uniform. Like, oh shit. But yeah, I would like to hear from Trey right now, honestly, because I certainly see that smiling face when James went down. I mean, when Trey went down was tough. To see it's back to 49er football was tough for me as a fan, not as the man standing in the locker. Laying and sitting in the locker room at that time. And to see yesterday or Sunday, somebody say, okay, so all of a sudden, I'm getting ready to go onto the field, and I see Brock Purdy Brock Purdy, just like that, I see Brock Purdy warming up. And I go, where's Jimmy? I wanted to slap his fucking face through my computer. That's Kyle Juszczyk for you. With tears in his eyes, still post-game after a win, because he just got done crying with Jimmy in the shower. Kid you not. Look it up. And that's what he said. Verbatim. Brock Purdy was getting ready. And I went, where's Jimmy? You kidding me? You are a grown man. Let's move on from the quarterbacks. Sean, shall we? Any final thoughts on the quarterbacks?
Nah, not really. No. We'll see what happens, I guess. Only time will tell, really.
Yeah, only time will tell. I agree. I don't think we have really the ability to know. So can we find any of that from Kyle Shanahan? Let me see. Here, just a moment. I know he had a 13-minute, almost 14-minute.
Jimmy, with his broken foot, still doing a lot of testing. He's got to talk to some foot specialists. I don't really have any new information on that, but the same as what I told you guys yesterday. Hassan Ridgeway, he has a pec strain. Surgery's not needed, but he'll be out for a while. And most likely 6 to 8 weeks. Darius Moore had a knee sprain. He'll be out a few weeks. And Nick Bosa has some hamstring irritation. We'll manage him throughout the week.
So were you aware of that hamstring injury?
For who?
For irritation. For Nick Bosa.
Nick, yes.
And
yeah, I know.
Faithful, did you know that really? Did you notice that?
But it's the same thing with that happened with Christian. Just manage him throughout the week. Bosa will be fine.
Okay. I hope you I trust you, son. Damian Lee in the building. You got a great name. Okay. We'll talk about it later, maybe. Don't remember if I've seen you before. I think I have. But thank you for stepping up tonight, sir. How you doing? Please hit that like button if you enjoying. What are your thoughts on the quarterbacks? Leave them in the comments. Do you think we'll see James again this season? Do you think we'll see Trey again this season? And then let me know, because I actually kind of agree with you. Just to be that, because we're almost an elite defense, like the 2002 Ravens, whichever one of those Bucks defenses. I think it was the 2000 Bucks. The 80, I don't know about the 85 Bears, but like we don't turn it. We just got that 4 turnover game, yeah. But
I knew we were gonna have. I was calling for 5, but I knew we were gonna have a lot of turnovers that game.
Didn't you say that, son?
Yeah, I did. I said on our preview show, I said 5 turnovers.
You get the give yourself an award. You're the EP.
We had a lot of turnovers that game.
Give yourself the ribbon. We had 4 turnovers.
Yeah, it was picked. And then and then the week before we had 2 fumble recoveries. So I mean, we are turning the ball over.
We do, yeah.
We're causing.
So we're getting close to a historical defense. So Damien, let me know in the comments, please, if you're still watching. What do you think we need still on defense? Trey, do you think we need anything on defense?
I mean, now that we really are picking it up with the turnovers, I don't think we need anything. I think our defense is elite. Look at what we just did against an elite team. The Dolphins are an elite team, and nobody can take that away from them. They are a really good football team. Tua hadn't lost the game that he started in until he played our defense.
And then he finished. So they did all those things you're saying. They tried today, son. They tried to take it away and say, oh, well, maybe they weren't that good. It was out there. Oh, maybe Tua wasn't really not that good. Remember, he got injured early in the season. They tried to downplay it today. The world did.
They did. And they're a high-powered offense. They like to throw the ball down the field, get yards, score a lot of points. They weren't able to do that. Our defense shut them down.
Damian Lee, David McNew, everybody saying what's up. See, the community, as some of y'all may have seen on Ted's, would any of y'all like to see the platform and Grant Cohn together? We have a long history. He doesn't know about it, but we have a long history.
Make it happen.
He and I.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Make it happen, son.
Make it happen.
Yeah. What do y'all think? Y'all know Grant. Today I actually spoke to Grant for the first time. He laughed at my jokes. I'm not surprised. In the comments, but I was in the comments of TED Talks, and Grant was on TED Talks. So I was like, oh shit. So I asked. First thing I asked was, "Hey Ted, how much did this cost?" And they both laughed, and it was not a problem or whatever. Apparently it was free. Grant went on his show with no problem. So we got to talking, and he said, I go with everybody, blah 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 blah. But just hit me something, blah 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 blah. Okay. So anyway, long conversation, shit like that. But I actually started and asked my sons this morning, should we do Grant Cohn? Y'all know I don't like Grant Cohn, and that those feelings may be changing. I'm not sure. Reverend says, when I put the game on, I saw Brock Purdy in the game. I knew something bad happened to James G. I wanted to punch the wall. Bruh, honestly, as much as any of us, he may get on somebody's nerves, I think we all, for a few minutes, wanted to hit something when he went down. Reality set in, like, oh, shit. Here comes Big Cock Brock. And we didn't know he was Big Cock Brock at that moment. We found out. Damian Lee says, I remember the defenses the NFC East had in the 1980s. They were vicious. Those Cowboys and Eagles defenses, even the Giants defense with Lawrence Taylor, they could keep Randall Cunningham in check. Yeah, well, or just the Giants and the Cowboys in that case. They keep Randall Cunningham in check, yes. And we are missing stamina. That's what I was going to say. When he asked son, what I was thinking that we needed, well, we may have gotten it, folks. Yes, y'all don't think it was in the form of a 6'8" Eric Armstead coming back? Does anybody?
Is Eric Armstead coming back?
Well, because they were saying we need something else on defense, and what I was thinking that we needed is something in the middle. I think next year we do need to draft a defensive tackle, but I think that for this year, I think Eric Armstead. Did any of you see that on one of Bosa's 3 sacks? Eric Armstead took on 3 offensive linemen. He took on a triple team, and Bosa got the sack with ease. We haven't seen that all year because he's been gone all year. So did we possibly, Damian, get it by having Eric Armstead back, or do you think we still need something else?
Eric Armstead also was one of the reasons that he was the reason that Jimmy Ward got that pick. Eric Armstead had his arm on Tua Tagovailoa. He beat his man, had his arm on Tua. Tua was going down. He had the pressure in Tua. Tua threw the ball, and Jimmy Ward ended up getting the pick. So Eric Armstead is also to credit for that interception. I think having Eric Armstead really is key, and he really did help with this game.
I agree completely. I think he definitely helped with this game. I didn't even know Sunday. So he had his arm on Tua during the Jimmy Ward pick. And look out for Jimmy Ward jumping over mother efforts back.
He was bringing Tua down with his arm. With his arm, he was bringing Tua down, and he threw the ball away. Eric Armstead was right there, had all the pressure, and he ended up throwing the interception. So Eric Armstead.
Okay, Damian Lee says this defense is good for today, but a Lawrence Taylor defense or Reggie White or Charles Mann or Dexter Manley. Damian, you know your football. Dexter Manley led defense would kill. Oh yeah, those defenses were. Well, I mean, was soft. SAWFT soft nowadays. We all know that. There's no people like Lawrence Taylor's and Reggie White's or Charles Mann's or even Charles Haley's. And the hits that the butt kisses, the shit was crazy back in the day. People were really getting laid out. You can't do that to anybody, the quarterback or otherwise. So, Granddaddy says, Grant Cohn was on the camper report. I showed up. They shut the stream down. What did you do, bro? No, you're not. Not at least not in our comments. You're amazing here. So what did you do? Make Grant merchandise. Like make him some of my merchandise or make some merchandise of Grant and wear it on my stream. Like a Grant t-shirt. Would you wear that, son? Grant Cohn face like the Jim Cornette face.
I don't know if I want Grant Cohn on my shirt.
I don't think I really do either. But what kind are you talking about? You make a mug? What you talking about? I'll do it, Bryant, if it means getting more subscribers, absolutely. And we're on the way to 600, so please hit that subscribe button.
Oh, you should on Grant Cohn's show. Doesn't he do like those weekly call-ins or whatever?
You are so smart.
Promote the channel.
I've been telling you that for a long time. You're right. Because actually the first thing he said was, well, what I do is like once a week is I do a call-in show. Call me up on my call-in show and then we can talk it out. I was like, oh, you want a big time? You told that to me. You want a big timing now, Grant? Are you big timing me? Okay. I'll hit your call in show. I sure the fuck will. Grandizer, what did they do? What did they do that you did when you was on the call in? They kicked you out. What did you do, Doc? Sheldon Richardson. Yeah. So to replace him, Sheldon Richardson would be good. I would have said Ndamukong Suh, probably right. Wasn't it inside the inside man? Do we have any? Who's on our team that could replace him right now? Do anybody know?
Kinlaw, if he was ever healthy.
Well. Grandizer 12. I seen that they cut up the video and made a few smaller videos. Really? So where was that? The camper report? Well, you said the camper report. By the way, I'm going to be on the camper report sometime soon. I'm not positive because the young sir keeps changing it, but he's a busy little man. He has Grant Cole on the channel right now, apparently, right? I was supposed not me today. I was supposed to be on there Saturday. Then he said, wait, can we do it next week? And then can we do this? So I'll give y'all an update on the time. I'll actually post it in the community tab when we're going to be on the camper report. But apparently Grant's on there today. And what did you do, man? I'll go check it out. I guess if they cut it all up. Let's go. What's up, buddy? Says Bryant Cope. Oh, you make Grant's merch. What the fuck? You live, the more you know. Oh, damn. Okay, Bryant. So are you on Twitter, Bryant? We need to talk. I'm looking into getting some merchandise. We definitely are. Y'all see, that's the logo made by his brother, my other son, Damian Jackson. Shout out to you, Damian, in the comments. My other son's name, Damian, if you're not aware. We're trying to get our merchandise going at least a little bit, you know. And shout out to you, Romello. We still got your shirt. I'm still gonna make your shirt. So you make merchandise for Grant and a few others. If you can I'll look for you on Twitter. If we're not already together on Twitter, brother, we'll talk about that. Thank you. Did they, Bryant Cole? I saw when they went live, had set the reminder. It only lasted like 5 minutes, if that. There was no longer version of the show. What were you doing in there to Grant? I would have thought you worked for Grandizer, actually. I call into Grant's show. It's usually on the 9 a.m. on Saturday. Yep, I watched it then. Okay, so he asked us to call into there. Grant, sometimes you get what you ask for, brother. But let's get back into a little bit of Kyle real quick before we move on.
Kyle, did you have a chance to catch up with Jimmy and just kind of see how he's doing and kind of plot out his future, I guess?
Yeah, I just we all checked on him last night, and then he was in here for the team meeting today. So he was in good spirits today. Came to the team meeting, so got to see everybody, and we all got to talk to him a little bit here.
How would you assess the emotions of the team after everything that's happened over the last 12 hours?
How are all of you all?
I mean, the team's in a good spot. I think everyone was real emotional for Jimmy. Our guys always take that stuff it hits home with all of them, not just at the quarterback position, but all the positions. That's always all of those guys' biggest fears. But a lot of that stuff we hit up last night. We were able to see him today, but the guys are pretty positive today and upbeat, and we'll be ready to go for next week.
Now, you and multiple players mentioned the idea that Brock is gutsy, for lack of a better word. When did you kind of first notice his willingness to, kind of take chances and put himself out there when you were evaluating him?
Really, in the reps that he got when he was here in OTAs, he got so few reps. Nate and Trey got the majority of them, and Brock would get about 2 to 4 a day, whatever that was at the time. And when he went in, he was just so aggressive in all his decisions. He didn't know a lot at first, but whatever he knew, he applied it and did it aggressively and never hesitated. And whenever you can see that clear, aggressive type of play in a quarterback early on, it was impressive. And the more he's learned, I still feel like it hasn't taken away from him.
I just saw an interesting little stat right now.
He needs to work on his phone plan.
Says, Brock Purdy will be the 7th different QB to make their first career start against Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. And all the other 6 before him have lost. It's
0-6.
So
I will hit you up tonight, Bryant.
Brock Purdy goes off ahead and becomes the first quarterback to beat Tom Brady in their first career start. I mean, the guy's winning a Super Bowl.
Clearly. Folks.
He does what he can.
All he does is win. So far, all he does is win. All Brock Purdy does is win. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and a win. Sound familiar? So he's 0-6. Well, he's 6-0. Is the GOAT, Tom Brady? And today I saw a lot of narrative of it's going to be so many Tom Brady fans in the stadium. What? His mom, his dad, and his immediate family? What the? His Sierra Madre High School? His former principal? Maybe. They're probably 49ers fans. But this guy used to coaching, so he was like literally holding his nuts. Since Giselle's not holding him anymore, this guy was on YouTube holding his nuts since he used to coaching, but he's a 49ers fan. So he was literally saying, I'm going to have mixed emotions. Fuck that. Tom Brady could be my cousin, and I'll be pulling for Dre Greenlaw and Nick Bosa. So Tom will be there. Bryant, I will hit you. I sincerely appreciate that. I think we already do follow each other, Bryant. But, I'm old, bro. So, I don't be knowing exactly. And we're growing. So, but thank you. So, yes, but I will get with you. I really appreciate you saying that, and I do need some. David says, what's up to Bryant? Yeah, so he's 6-0 against them. Do you think first of all, do you think we're going to win this game?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I had doubts about the Miami game and even the Saints game, but I have no doubts about this game. I mean, the Bucs they're a really bad football team right now. They're not good. They're in shambles right now.
Okay, but wait. You saw what he did with just 4 minutes left yesterday. The GOAT. He took that. They look like complete dogs, which is not as good as ours. We put up quite a few points on them, didn't we? How many points did we put up on them? 20 something. We got in. Okay, no, we didn't. We got 13. Okay, my bad. Ryan says we will now. If not already, yes, brother, we certainly will now. But I'm almost sure we already do. I recognize and I love your symbol. See, you're very creative. Yeah, we could definitely talk, sir. I've always liked your symbol when I see it around. That's why I say I hope he flies in here one time. Gets in here one time. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere some can, I know you move around, so hopefully you can move around into our chat every once in a while. So I appreciate you, dog. Thank you. What were we just saying? Something? I apologize. Doesn't matter.
No clue.
No clue. I know it happens sometimes. Did you see the video of Aik saying he is right, bro? We just said it a little minute ago, maybe before you got in. Yes, he said. I think those were the words. I'm rocking with Brock. I said back in Brock earlier. I think I did. So my fault. Thank you for correcting me, repping and coming with the real business. Niner ganger don't bang. Brandon, Trey. I don't know if you got a chance to see that, folks. He was interviewed and he said that he is rocking with Brock. Was that on the podcast with TJ Husmanzada? Is that what you're talking about, repping? I believe that's where I saw that. Or was that his interview about the locker? In any event, he seems to have no problem with Brock Purdy. He seems to not be surprised, actually, at Brock Purdy either. And then he said that Brock Purdy actually came up to him today, or that was actually yesterday, came up to him yesterday before an interview and told him, I apologize for missing you. I'm going to be better. I can do better. So I think that's a good sign for us as the faithful. He knows where he's at. He knows he's the leader of Super Bowl team, and he has to be good. And he also said, Brock himself, after the game, that he's a perfectionist. Do you see that in him? Perfectionist, faithful, and Trey, do you see some little bit of that in him?
I do. I feel like Brock Purdy wants to go out there and he wants to win. I don't even think Brock Purdy cares about his whole image or all of that. I get the vibe that he just wants to go out there and he wants to win. And that's what you need from your quarterback. That's really what you need from anybody, but especially your quarterback.
I agree. I think he does have – everybody keeps saying he has swag. Kyle said he has balls. That's what Kyle said immediately after the game. He was obviously very emotional. And then he said, I apologize for saying it that way, but he has balls. And I think he does. And yet, repping it's TJ Husmanzada and Orlando Scandrick, who has been more of a reality TV loving hip hop star than he was a good player for the Dallas Cowboys. Shout out to his ex-broad because that bitch is fine. No disrespect. I say that because I don't know her name off the top of my head right now. Drea. There it goes. But it's too late. Warner is happy with Brock. Yeah, I think the whole team is. They gave him a Purdy chant in the locker room immediately after, even though I know Mike McGlinchey and I didn't hear Kittle's voice and I didn't hear Juice's voice. But I could literally make out every other voice in the locker room saying Purdy, Purdy, Purdy for like 4 Purdies, and then they stopped. I didn't hear those 3 though. I heard tears though, like juice box tears. It sounded like he was squeezing the juice box. That's how much liquid was just flying out of his fucking tear ducts. I can't believe Cal Juszczyk was in the locker room crying yesterday, and on the locker room said, "Where's Jimmy?" Like he got lost in the grocery store, and he couldn't find his dad. Where's Dad? He's looking around and he just couldn't find him. That's what he did and said he did after the game, and he's grown. Brock Purdy, I think everybody is backing Brock right now. I think that Brock is capable of taking us to the Super Bowl. Is he capable of winning it? I don't know. I think we'll face the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. I do think they get there, and I think that they run into our defense. That's what I call right now. You don't? Who's going? It's Dallas? We're going to face Dallas before. It has to be the Eagles.
It might be Dallas in the end. I don't think the Eagles are good enough to beat Dallas twice.
Oh, 3 times.
The Eagles have beat Dallas once. I think the Eagles beat Dallas once already. Dallas is going to beat them the next time they play. And I don't think Dallas is going to beat them again. I don't think the Eagles are going to beat them again. But, I mean, hey, it very well could be the Eagles.
So wouldn't it be 2 more times? Or maybe because they have 1 more game against each other.
They do have 1 more game against each other. And that's why I don't think the Eagles can beat them twice.
In the season. So then it may be the Cowboys with the better record. You're saying at the end of the season.
The Eagles beat them once already. They still have to play.
So who we face? Wouldn't they face each other in the playoffs before we got to the Eagles?
Would they?
I
or
can't.
would they play somebody?
We would have to play Dallas. So what I'm saying is if we get to the NFC Championship game, it has to be, I think it would be against Dallas because they won't play in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? They have the Cowboys have 3 losses. They have 1. So even if they lose to the Cowboys next, they'll still be the division winners and still have the best record in the NFC. They'll get to a bye week. So unless Dallas slips, you know what I mean? So Dallas goes, we got to play the Eagles. I fucking hate the playoffs. It's fucking Giants versus Niners in the NFC Championship game. I would like that, but I think we'll play them first. We'll play them before that. I think actually the playoffs started today. Brian, I think we actually might play the Giants like today.
Yeah, we would.
I think we would play them in the first round.
I don't think the Giants get that far anyway. I don't think the Giants get that far. That means the Giants would have to win 2 playoff games. I don't think I don't see that happening. They can't even beat the Lions.
Yeah, they have to be against both the Eagles and
or
Cowboys.
I mean, they can't beat the Lions or the Commanders. I don't know. They'll probably be Niners, Eagles, honestly.
Do y'all want to see that in the NFC Championship game? Niners, Eagles. So it'll be Cowboys and Minnesota. Is what you're saying now? Okay, Brian, I get that. Cowboys, Minnesota. I can see that. I think that's the other team. We could play Minnesota in the NFC Championship game. I think we could if they got through, but they would have to upset one of either the Cowboys or Eagles, I think. And
they can't. They lost to both of those teams already this season. They lost to both of those teams. I think those are their only 2 losses, the Cowboys and the Eagles. So
you may be right. Grand Nazar, thank you so much, brother. Sincerely, hope you're having a good night. You definitely own the night, my man. Final thoughts, our defense. So is our defense good enough to take Brock Purdy to carry him? And is it going to be just – I don't want to see just 13 zip because when you get 4 turnovers, you don't score 13 points. You score 33. Thank you, Brian. 2nd seed plays the 7th. Are we looking at 2nd seed? Or we got to get past most Minnesota, Dallas, and everything. So we're 3rd seed right now.
Minnesota right now.
Just Minnesota. I'm sorry. Yeah, just Minnesota.
Yeah, just Minnesota.
I'm sorry. They're the division leader.
Are they 10 wins? Minnesota has 10 wins. 10 wins, 2 losses.
2 losses
it's
for Minnesota. God damn, Kirk. Fuck.
10 wins, 2
3rd and
losses.
6. Yeah, so we would be playing. In the first round, who do we play? Who's in 6th place? Minnesota.
The Giants.
It would be the Giants. If the playoffs start today, we'd be beating the shit out of David Spade. Shout out to David Spade, amazing comedian. Yeah, but Fumblerooski, Slipsies, trip over my shoestrings. He been for a long day.
They don't have a very hard schedule left. I think we have 3rd seed locked. Vikings have Lions, Colts, Giants, and Packers left. I know they have one more game against the Bears also.
They'll
not
win that
very
game.
difficult teams to beat.
They'll likely win that game. Okay. So yeah, we will be playing. Cowboys are Cowboys are currently 5th because technically they beat, and the Giants are 6th, and the Commanders
just
are 7th.
tie. Commanders are 7th. They did just tie though. So
Commanders. So Commanders are 7th. Yeah, we would be going up against the Giants, and his name's not David, it's Daniel. But it doesn't matter because we would probably treat him like our bitch, like we just did Tua turn the ball over. So it would be a long day, I think, for anybody up until we get to round 2, which would then inevitably be probably Dallas in the 2nd round, if I had to imagine, right? Be the 2 highest or best seeds because 3 but Dallas is 4. 4 and 5 is who?
Did you think 5? Brock Purdy could handle Tom Brady and then on a short week go to Seattle and win again? Because after Brady, we have our Thursday night football game.
Thank you for that reminder. And make sure you guys are following us and subscribe to the channel, please. If you want to hang with us or step up, we will be live streaming both of those games. We'll be streaming 2 games in 4 days or, 2 games in 12 days from now or so, 12, 13 days from now or 10, 11 days, whatever the fuck it is. But 2 games, both of those games and all the games the rest of the season. I'm not sure. Yes, if our defense plays close to how it played this week, then yes, he can. They don't have to have 4 turnovers and 4 or 5 sacks, or most of just got, I don't remember how many sacks exactly, 3 sacks. They don't have to make his. It really is. They're going to be
almost lost to the Rams, who have nobody right now.
Who have nobody. Who played the quarterback? Yes, we can. As long as nobody gets hurt or nothing crazy happens, absolutely, because he's not going to be asked to do much faithful. And even that what he is asked to do, he can do. I think he can perform it at a high level. I really do. I think he can perform. He's not asked to be Patrick Mahomes, and we're not going to get into those types of games again until the Super Bowl. I literally feel that. The playoff football is not like that. When we go to Philadelphia, they're not going to be doing what they just did this Sunday. Well, first of all, our defense is too good, but this Sunday we're just throwing the ball over the place and partying, and the thing is because it's December.
I mean, that's what Tua did, and we've seen Tua wasn't able to do that. Tua, the previous week, he's just throwing the ball, dancing,
everywhere, dancing. That's just not going to happen. We also
that's
okay. They were putting up fantasy.
They weren't able to
all the time. Not this week because they ran, and it was because of our defense. And the Eagles, yesterday or Sunday they were putting up fantasy points and playing Madden, and it was cool. And it was just a whole celebration, and everybody was just constantly scoring. It was bombs, and the quarterback threw 3 and 1, 3 in the air, 1 on the ground. Playoff football is not even really like that. No matter who you are, it just doesn't go like that because everybody's more afraid anyway too. You just call the games different, plus the weather. So that's just not going to happen. And when you start grinding it out and shortening the game or making a game long or short, however you want to consider it, that's more along the lines of how we play
any nighttime playoff games. I don't want any.
We don't.
No,
I don't either. Good point. I would like all morning playoff games. Eagles, Minnesota, Niners, Tampa, Dallas, Giants, Washington. Then what? Seattle. Yes, excellent. Thank you so much, Brian. That is the correct order. So right now, Eagles get the break. Minnesota faces Washington. We face the Giants, and Tampa. Tom gets Micah Parsons in his house, and we get to see what they can do. So after when we defeat the Giants 2-1, we go up. who's the
This
fuck is
might
this?
be the playoff picture in 6 weeks. This might be.
I actually think it is. If Minnesota beats, because they play, so the Eagles will play the easiest team, which would be Dallas. So if Minnesota beat Tampa or whatever, what the fuck?
Minnesota will
It's
play
so
the
hard.
Giants. Oh wait, no.
We face
Minnesota
the
will
Giants.
play Washington. Minnesota will play Washington. They'll win.
They'll
that
beat.
game.
So Minnesota wins that game. Then it goes what? So we got Tampa and Dallas. Say Dallas wins.
Which they most likely will.
Then they would play who? Us?
No, they'll play the
Minnesota?
Eagles.
They'll play Minnesota. No, they'll play the Eagles.
They'll play the Eagles.
We'll be gone. Yeah, they'll play the Eagles because they'll be the lowest seed. All right, so it will be Dallas and the Eagles in the second round. Then us against either Tampa or us against, Minnesota. And we will destroy them.
Us against
Okay.
Minnesota.
I like any of these matchups. The only one I have, and today a lot of people were pushing for Dallas. They got a defense or whatever. The defense has been well. I've been seeing a lot of that lately, but I just don't expect them to. You got to be able to run the ball on us, and I don't think they can. And they won't be able to. Not with Dak. No, just stop. Let me just tell y'all right now. And Jerry Jones apparently said he wanted it. He wanted a taste. There's no way. If any team this year will defeat us in any game the rest of the season, it will not be Dallas. It's just not going to be. So y'all just let that sink in. But I like the playoff matchup right there. I got tired of hearing that today. It was really getting pushed today. Like, they're just great. Well, everybody's going to have to go through Dallas. They're in like fifth place. Fuck out of here. Son, do you have any final thoughts?
That's about it for me.
Great.
That's about it.
It's about it for me too. Faithful and folks, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us today. Shout out to Brock Purdy. Sincerely, you did a good job, young man. Tomorrow or over the next couple of days, I don't know if we want to do a live. I'm going to talk it over with the EP here and his brother, or if it's just going to be a video that drops. But I actually got some thoughts really on, like I said, Trey Lance. The last thing that I saw last night was I waited all the way to the end of the night actually to watch it for whatever reason. But was the little thing after the game, 1 minute, Kyle in the locker room, watching that locker room and everyone's faces after the win. Kyle trying to keep everybody pumped up, but then making sure he told everybody, hey, go pray for James or check in with him. We know what he's been through. That's what he said. And behind him, I saw Trey, and they were going, Purdy, 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 and Trey gave him 4 claps. And then it's still going in the cuts. It's kind of edited a little bit, but the cuts are showing Trey Lance, and he's standing there. He's just looking over Kyle's shoulder into the kind of like the camera, it was just set right. And then it cuts to, I think it was McStinky. I don't even know who the fuck it was. And then it cuts back, and Trey is bending over as he's now no longer looking. He's bending with his head down. And I thought 2 things. Because Kyle's literally in that moment, basically like saying, pray for James. He was either doing it or feeling like shit. So I want to talk about that. Because for me, no matter what anybody else thinks, I think that he's going to be good for our organization and our team in the future. Not today, not tomorrow. And I also think that he hasn't been given a fair chance. So we're going to give him that on the platform for sure. Trey, we ain't forgot you. My son's name is Trey. That's just coincidence, but it means something to me. So Niner Ganger, don't bang. Thank y'all so much to everybody repping. I sincerely appreciate that. So sir, it's always dope to have you coming through the comments. I appreciate you. Maybe we get you on one time. And Bryant, I'm going to be on your show, and that's going to be a great show. I can't wait for that day. Son, I love you. Have a good night. I'll talk to you offline, as they say, on YouTube. The rest of y'all be safe.